After studying this module, you will be able to know the different types of poisons, difference between medicine and poison, and identify the categories of poison. Toxicology is defined as a branch of medical science which deals with poison in relation to their sources, properties, action, the symptoms which they produce, fatal dose, toxicity, diagnosis, treatment, and autopsy features. The word poison is derived from the Latin word potus, means to drink. The term potus became potion and then poison in Old French, a drink that could harm or kill. Poison is any substance in any form, solid, liquid or gas, if assimilated in the living body or brought into contact with any part thereof, will lead to deterioration of health and may eventually lead to death by its constitutional or local effects. Every agent may be harmful if acting as an organism at a high enough dose. Poison may also be defined as a material which, when administered, inhaled or ingested, is capable of acting deadly on the human body. Thus, almost anything is a poison. There is a very minute difference between medicine or a poison. A medicine in a toxic dose is a poison and a poison in a small dose may be a medicine. According to law, the key difference between a medicine and a poison is the intent and with which it is given to a person. Therefore, if the substance is administered with the intention to save a life, it is a medicine. But if it is a medicine but acts as a poison if it is intent to cause the harm to the body. A very high percentage of all poisonings happen at home. The most common domestic products associated in poisoning cases are cleaning solutions, fuels, medicines, and other materials such as glue and cosmetics. Certain animals have the tendency to secrete xenobiotic poison, commonly referred to as a venom, which is usually injected with a bite or a sting, while some other animals harbor infectious bacteria. Some household plants can also prove to be noxious to humans and animals. A poison may have local action in which a poison may act at the site of the application. For example, application of concentrated sulfuric acid to face produces chemical burns. In the systematic action, a poison may act over a given system when taken. For example, ingestion of aconite causes cardiac toxicology and death. While the combined action, some poison have local action and similarly they act as a systematic poison. For example, carbolic acid, when applied to skin, it acts locally as corrosive and when ingested acts as a systematic poison. Paracelsus, the 16th century toxicologist, was the first person to explain the dose-response relationship of toxic substance. In Indian law, there is no definition of poison and the various expressions are for it. In biology, poisons are substances that cause injury, illness or death of organisms, usually by a chemical reaction or any other activity on the molecular scale. Some poisons are also toxins, usually referring to naturally produced substances that kill rapidly in small quantities, such as bacterial proteins that cause botulism and tetanus, animal toxins that are delivered substantially, for example, by sting or by bite, are called venom. A poisonous organism is the one that is harmful to consume, but a venomous organism uses poison to defend itself while still alive. A single organism can be both venomous and poisonous. Deliberate application of poison has throughout the ages been used as a method of homicide, suicide, and execution. As a method of execution, the poison can be administered as ingested. There are several sections which deals with the offences related to administration of poisons. Some of the sections are 176, 193, 201, 202, 284, 299, 300, 304A, 309, 320, 324, 326 and 328 IPC and sections 39, 40 and 175. In law, the important element is intention with which the act is committed. For awarding punishment, the administration of any substance with the aim of causing injury or death and which causes injury and results in death is legally sufficient. In such cases, the accurate definition of poison is not required. The law does not mark any difference between murder by means of poisons and murder by any other means. The intention of accused can be proved by the deliberate administration of poison which is capable of causing death. It will bring culpable homicide within the scope of murder. Poison information centers. The incidence of poisoning has increased and markedly during the last decade but has received attention of public professionals and authorities quite recently. Poison Information Center is a specialized unit that provides information on poisoning to the community. The main functions of such a center are: number one, provision of toxicological information. Next, advice on management of poisoning cases. Training to the professional and paraprofessionals on first aid, management and prevention of poisoning. It also provides toxicological laboratory services in developing contingency plans for chemical disaster with other responsible bodies. The center responds to chemical disasters. The center carries out the experimental studies to find out the toxic risks and mechanisms. In India, National Poisons Information Center was established in 1995 at the Department of Pharmacology, All India Institute of Medical Sciences, New Delhi. The center provides information on poisoning management. It holds teaching and training program on poisoning, prevention and management. It also plays an important role in developing contingencies plans for chemical disasters and conducts research related to antidotes, environmental and biological monitoring of the chemicals and toxicokinetics. The center also provides information on management and treatment protocols of various poisonings all over the country. The center provides round-the-clock service all the 365 days of the year. Besides this, the center has the backup of latest literature on poisoning. The poison information consultant, after taking an exact history and the relevant details about the product, consumed will provide the precise and concise information on the product involved, likely signs and symptoms, pre-hospital treatment, supportive and symptomatic care, antidotal therapy including doses and the availability. Also, the entire information is recorded in a specific proforma for evaluation of data and further follow-up. The Poison Information Center also conducts studies on the pattern of poisoning in a particular area and developing a prevention program. National Poison Information Center has ready-made information cards covering the signs and the symptoms, pre-hospital and hospital management, protocols including therapeutic drugs and antidote, dosing, schedule on organophosphates, carbamates, organochlorines, aluminum phosphides, ethylene dibromide, pyrethroid, rodenticides, corrosives, tricyclic antidepressants, benzodiazepines, phenylethylamine, methyl alcohol, carbon monoxide, paracetamol, opioids, datura, yellow oleander, scorpion sting, copper sulfate and cyanide. Various poisoning manuals and books are also available at the center. The center is also in the process of setting up a national antidote bank that will stock all the essential antidotes. It uses a computer software on poisons compiled by WHO, National Institute of Occupational Health at Ahmedabad, also has one center. Regional centers are located in Chennai and Cochin. These centers provide toxicity assessments and treatment recommendations over the telephone throughout the day for all categories of poisons. Poison centers provide immediate round-the-clock toxicity assessment and the treatment recommendations over the telephone for all kinds of poisoning situations affecting people of all ages, including ingestions of household products, overdose of therapeutic medicines, illegal foreign and veterinary drugs, chemical exposures on the job or elsewhere, hazardous material spills, bites of snakes or spiders and other creatures, and the plant and the mushroom poisoning. Now we will study about the causes of poisoning. The poisoning may result from many of the reasons. Some of them are: poisoning may be caused by the administration of poison for criminal purpose. The swallowing of poison by mistake for harmless substances can also lead to poisoning. The inhalation of vapors of a poison either accidentally or by ignorance. The improper formulation of medicine containing a poison. The accidental intake of large dose of medicine containing a poison. Excessive self-medication. Addiction to a drug. Bite by a poisonous animal. Food infected with bacteria or their toxins. Now we will study the classification of poisons. Classification of poisons may be done according to their mode of action and by their chemical nature. Both classification have their own importance in forensic investigation. Mode of action helps in determining the type of poison, and on the other hand, chemical nature of poison helps in analyzing it. Number 1, classification based on The mode of action. According to their mode of action, poisons are classified into three groups, which are number 1 corrosives, number 2 irritants, and number 3 systemic. Number 1, the corrosive poisons. A corrosive poison is simply a highly active irritant and not only produces inflammation but also actual ulceration of the tissues. Basically, a corrosive poison fixes, destroys and erodes the surface with which it comes in contact. That is, they produce only local action. They act by extracting water from the tissues and coagulate cellular proteins and convert hemoglobin into hematine. This group consists of strong acids and strong alkalis. These include mineral acids such as sulfuric acid, nitric acid, hydrochloric acid, organic acids such as oxalic acid, carbolic acid, acetic acid, salicylic acid, concentrated alkalis, caustic soda, carbonates, ammonium, sodium and potassium. The second category is irritant poisons. Irritant poisons causes pain in abdomen, vomiting and purging. In post-mortem appearance, they are usually evident to the naked eye and shows redness or ulceration of the gastrointestinal tract. This group is further divided into inorganic, organic and mechanical substances. Corrosives in dilute solution act as irritants. Let's study about the inorganic irritant poisons. The inorganic subgroup consists of non-metallic and metallic poisons. Examples of non-metallic poisons are phosphorus, chlorine, bromine and iodine, etc. The metallic poisons include arsenic, antimony, mercury, lead, copper, thallium, zinc, manganese, barium and other radioactive substances. The other type is organic irritant poisons. This group of poisons comprises of animal and plant poisons. Examples of plant poisons are Aberrus precatorius, castor, marking nut, ergot, calotropis, etc. The animal poisons includes snakes, insects, cantharids, spider, etc. Mechanical substances. This group includes coarsely powdered glass, chopped hairs, dried sponge and diamond dust. Systematic poisons. This class of poisons directly affects the main organs of the body system and therefore they are referred to as a systematic poisons. It includes nervous systems, neurotics, cardiovascular systems, cardiac, respiratory system, etc. Neurotics poisons. Neurotic poisons act chiefly on the nervous system through the some neurotics have a local irritant action. All alkaloids poisons fall into this group. This group consists of poisons that have specific action on the cerebrum, spinal cord and peripheral nerves. The poisons being known as cerebral, spinal and peripheral respectively. Cerebral poisons. Cerebral poisons. The poisons acting on the cerebrum may have a somniferous, inebriant and delirant effect. The somniferous poisons include opioids. The inebriant ones include alcohols, anesthetics, sedatives and hypnotics, fuels and agrochemical compounds. The deliriant are dhatura, belladonna, cannabis indica. The spinal poisons acting on a spinal cord include Nux vomica and its alkaloids and gelsemium. Peripheral poisons. These poisons acting on the peripheral nerves include curare and conium. Cardiac poisons. Mostly the cases reported before a forensic laboratory related to cardiac poisons are due to accidental poisoning by plants containing certain compounds which are poisonous in nature and effect, for example, alkaloids. In this line, the best known cardioactive glycoside is Digitalis purpura foxglove. These are poisons acting on the heart and it includes Digitalis, oleander, aconite and nicotine. Next category is asphyxiant poisons. These are gases that deprive body tissues of oxygen. They generally divided into two categories, simple and chemical. Simple asphyxiant merely displace oxygen from ambient air, where chemical asphyxiant react in the human body to interrupt either the delivery or the utilization of oxygen. When the concentration of any gases increases, the fraction of inspired oxygen tends to decrease, rendering to hypoxemia. These poison acts on the respiratory system and include irrespirable gases such as carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, sewer gases and some VAR gases. Miscellaneous poisons. The poisons having different pharmacological action are put together in this group. It includes analgesics, antipyretics, antihistaminic, tranquilizers, antidepressants, street drugs, and designer drugs. Classification based upon the chemical nature of poison. The poisons are also classified on the basis of their nature into the following types. Number 1, gaseous poisons. These type of poisons are in gaseous states and if inhaled hamper the competence of the blood as a carrier of oxygen and may damage the tissues of the air passages and lungs. Some of the examples of the gaseous poisons are carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, hydrogen sulfide, sulfur dioxide, chlorine, nitrous oxide and tear gas, etc. Volatile inorganic poisons. Acute poisoning with volatile substances usually follows the slow inhalation of vapors in order to become intoxicated. Cyanide, phosphine, arsine, phosgene, chloride, etc. are few volatile inorganic poisons. The next one is volatile organic poisons. These are organic chemicals that have a high vapor pressure at different room temperatures. The high vapor pressure, which results from a low boiling point, causes large number of molecules to sublimate from the liquid or solid from the compound and enter the surrounding air. Examples of volatile organic poisons are ethanol, formaldehyde and acetaldehyde. Non-volatile inorganic or anions poisons. Examples are halides, dichromate, chlorates, azides, nitrites, sulfate, phosphides, cyanides, etc. Next one is non-volatile inorganic but cation poisons. Examples are mercury, arsenic, barium, thallium, lead, antimony, bismuth, etc. Non-volatile organic neutral poisons, which include pesticides. Examples are organophosphates, organochlorates, carbamates and pyrethroids. Non-volatile organic acidic compounds, which are generally known as acidic drugs. Drugs or poisons which are acidic in nature are called acidic drugs. These drugs readily react with bases to form salts. Few of the examples are barbiturates, sulfur, phenolic compounds, for example, phenol, cresols, etc., salicylates, etc. Non-volatile organic alkaline compounds, which are also called as basic drugs. If the drug contains a nitrogen atom with a lone pair of electrons available for reaction with protons, they will behave as bases. Examples are alkaloids, etc. Plant poisons, the active constituent of plants that exert toxic effects, are organic compounds and non-volatile in nature. The examples are dhatura, aconite, oleander, nux vomica, etc. Miscellaneous poisons. These poisons may be organic or inorganic, volatile or non-volatile, and animal or plant origin or toxins produced thereof. Mechanical poisons. Examples are diamond dust, glass powder, and chopped hair. Food poisoning, mycotoxins. Next one is animal or insect poisons. Examples are snake venom, scorpion, poison bees, poisons ants, etc. Poison may be defined as a substance which, when administered, inhaled, or ingested, is capable of acting deleteriously on the human body. Almost everything can be a poison. There is a very minute difference between medicine or a poison. A medicine in a toxic dose is a poison, and a poison in a small dose may be a medicine. There is a National Poisons Information Center which provides toxicity assessments and treatment recommendations over the telephone throughout the day for all kinds of poisons. There may be many reasons for poisoning. For example, bite by a poisonous animal also. Poisons are classified on the basis of their mode of action and their chemical nature.